We're recording. Hey everyone, my name is Whitney, and welcome back to an episode of Spastic Chatter. If you didn't know, Spastic Chatter is a podcast meant to feature people in the Cerebral Palsy community, and I will be getting together weekly with people with CP like myself to have an uncensored chat about what it's like to live with this type of disability. Excuse me. And for this episode, I have a special guest named Jaime, and we met through Facebook, actually, because I came across her page, Cerebral Palsy Sunrise. So we're going to talk about her Facebook page and kind of how support groups can help us in our daily lives and things like that. So I will let Jaime introduce herself.
Well, hi everyone on Spastic Chatter. Hi Whitney. I am Jaime, and I am the founder of Cerebral Palsy Sunrise, and we're a Facebook group and page for adults with CP and the people who love them, because we do have a few caregivers and family members that also join us on the page. So that's what I do.
Cool. So can you just to start it off, can you give me a brief background on why you started Cerebral Palsy Sunrise?
Sure. So I am getting ready to turn 40 this year. And in November of last year, I was thinking, well, what's something special that I could do to kind of mark my 40th birthday and something different, a passion project, And so a few people had approached me about starting a CP group, and I had never done it. And I thought that now with Facebook Live and some of the other things that are available, might be a great time to try it. So I created the page and posted my first video on November 4th, and the rest is kind of history.
Exactly. So you have lives every week.
We do. Yeah, we have lives every week. And we post 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week, different things that will be of interest to adults with cerebral palsy.
Cool. So because there's a bunch. If you ever research cerebral palsy, there's a bunch of resources for children with cerebral palsy, because they call it I don't know why. I don't know. Like, I can understand why they call it a childhood disability, because it happens at birth. But those children grow up to be adults. So
yeah, we're all still here.
Yeah. So there's no resources for adults with cerebral palsy. So I'm glad that things like Cerebral Palsy Sunrise exist, because it's nice to relate to someone and find that. So I think the reason I found you is because you featured Brandon Ryan, and he's one of my Facebook friends. So
yeah. And I think he's been your guest on Spastic Chatter, right?
Last week's Spastic Chatter.
Yeah. So amazing guy, really cool guy.
I think one of the first videos I saw was your ABCs Cerebral Palsy.
Yeah. So for those watching who don't know, if you're interested, the very first thing I did on the channel, just to kind of introduce myself and to be fun, was I took every letter of the alphabet and picked a word and talked about it as it related to cerebral palsy. And the most commonly watched episode is F stands for falling. And it's had several thousand views. So that's the most common.
That is the most accurate. I think that's the most accurate one for cerebral palsy is, F stands for falling.
That's right.
we fall pretty frequently. I know that I do.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. If you haven't fallen on a weekly basis, then you probably don't have CP.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Yeah.
so since I mentioned the childhood disability, can you did you grow how was your childhood growing up with CP? Was it like when people ask me this, I'm just like, it was pretty normal. Like there wasn't anything different.
Yeah, well, so for me, I was born premature, as a lot of us are. My parents were given a whole list of things that might possibly be different about me, based on the fact that I was so premature, and cerebral palsy was one of them. I was lucky enough that that was one of the only things on the list that I had, and I'm also very lucky that with my spastic CP, it did not impact my speech. So while I do have balance issues and motor issues, I don't have speech issues. So that's been
Yeah,
helpful. And I had a lot of surgeries. I had a lot of procedures, and I've been able to stay mobile. So I walk, and I use the assistance of a walker when I'm in large spaces. I occasionally use a chair if I'm having, a rough time, or if it's a really big place. But for the most part, it's me and my walker horse, and we just take on the world.
so do you know besides Cerebral Palsy Sunrise, do you know anybody in your personal life with CP or any sort of
So
disability?
that's an excellent question, and that is exactly the reason why I started Cerebral Palsy Sunrise. When I was growing up, I attended regular ed, and I didn't actually get to meet another person with cerebral palsy, and until I was fairly well along teenager, and I didn't get to have any friends with CP until I was a young adult, until I was in college. So there were just not, because I lived in a rural area, there was just not a lot of access to cerebral palsy resources or a cerebral palsy community. And I guess that's part of what motivated me to start Cerebral Palsy Sunrise, because I wanted to make sure that people could have a community no matter where they lived.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Lions Camp. I think they
Hmm.
have one in every state.
They do,
I
yep.
I went to Lions Camp, to Texas Lions Camp from like 9 to 16, and like so I was around people with disabilities, but I kind of I don't know, maybe it's just me. I kind of had the mentality growing up that I'd rather that I want to that I'd want to stand out and and not blend in. So I felt like if I like associated myself with a bunch of wheelchair users, that would be my identity.
Right,
So like I kind of had to like come to terms with that. Like as I got older, of course, that changed. But I
right.
kind of I kind of started with that mentality. And
Makes total sense.
yeah, and
Yeah.
there's a I don't know, there's some people that you're not gonna relate to. No, even though you have the same disability
Right.
as people, you're not. It's okay not to relate to somebody.
Yeah, you don't have to expect that somebody's going to be your best friend just because they
Yeah,
have CP, right?
yeah,
Um, but it is nice to at least have the option to meet
yes,
lots of different people with CP, so you can pick the ones that you kind of gel with. And that's what I hope Cerebral Palsy Sunrise helps people
yes,
do, is find other people that they want to hang out with, either in person or online, that have the same interests that they do, but also really understand what life as an adult with CP is like, because it's a lot
exactly.
different than, being a little kid. So,
Like I know that I can't be the only one. I go through Instagram and try to find like adults with cerebral palsy to relate to. And like I was mentioning, there's ones that I can't relate to
right.
for different reasons. and then like I find the ones that I relate to, and I just find myself drawn. I just find myself drawn to them because it gives me it motivates me to do things. I see them doing things, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. It gives me motivation.
Yeah.
Might
Well,
sound
like,
cheesy, but
no, well, like able-bodied people, they get to see people that look like them everywhere they look, right?
yeah,
Social media, TV, movies. The only person I ever saw in media with cerebral palsy was Jerry from Facts of Life. I didn't have any, examples in media or television or movies of people with disabilities. It just wasn't there. It's changing a little bit now, but it still has
yeah,
a long way to go.
yeah. It's still not there all the way, but it's getting there.
Yeah, they're
Um,
trying. They're trying.
yeah. So in your own words, can you describe how important it is for somebody to have a sense of community? We've kind of hit on it, but can you put it in
Yeah.
your own words?
Well, I think being an adult with CP, you can sometimes feel like you're an alien, right? Like
Yeah,
you're like the on a planet that just doesn't understand you, that just doesn't belong to you. And I think having a little time each week in a space where everyone at least has the common ground of we all have CP. We might have different interests, we might have different levels of CP, but on that base ground of we all have CP, we all kind of understand each other. And so for that brief time that we get together, whether it's watching the post or doing the live, we all get to be on the same planet, and it's our planet Cerebral Palsy, and it just makes it a little easier. We can laugh at what we want to laugh at. We can get mad at what we want to get mad at, and we don't have to worry about offending any able-bodied people.
yeah, that's really cool. I like how you described everything. That's really cool. And don't you have? I noticed by looking at some of your lives, you have like you have some of the same. Most of the time, it's some of the same people that watch your lives and like comment on everything. Like you have a you. I don't want to I don't know how else to put it, but you kind of Cerebral Palsy Sunrise is really like a community. I was gonna say like a fan base, but it's not really. It's not really a fan base. Like
We really are an online family, and we're constantly inviting people to join our potluck, right? So we're totally an online family. Our lives once a week are kind of like our potluck dinner. Bring with you whatever you're feeling that day, and we just kind of hang out and enjoy each other's company. So yeah, we do have a bit of a online real life community, I guess you'd say, or fan
yeah,
base, whatever you want to call it. But it really is just a safe space to hang out. And I'm super proud that we have members all the way from age 18 to our oldest member is 75. So
oh
I
yeah,
think,
that's a good topic to bring up. So the youngest member is 18, and right
yep.
now the oldest member is 75.
Yeah, so the oldest member is 75. We do have a couple people who are teenagers who are under the age of 18, but they're participating with the permission of their parent, and their parent is 21. So we do have a couple people under 18, but the majority are 18 and over, and our oldest participant is 75. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
So if they're below 18, do you just like message them?
Yeah, if they're below 18, I message them, and if they're able to put me in touch with an adult in their household or whomever is with them, and the adult is okay with them participating, then we're okay with that. But because of the things that we talk about, because of the things that we do,
Yeah,
it's really intended for people 18 and over.
yeah, exactly. So, do you have any advice for other people with cerebral palsy? Or
Uh, I don't know. I mean, everybody's cerebral palsy is different, right?
yeah,
So I would say one thing is always do what's best for you. And two, know you're not alone. Whether it's my group, Cerebral Palsy Sunrise, that you join, or another group, or watching Spastic Chatter, just make sure you remember that there's 17 million of us, and you're not alone. So, because sometimes it can be a little bit lonely, right?
Yeah, and especially when you get into adult years, like you don't really know. Like I know for me, my adult years have been the hardest because you're trying to figure yourself out and like um
Right.
yeah
Trying to figure yourself out, trying to figure out navigating the world with fewer resources, right? Because
yeah
there's lots of resources when we're kids, and then the older we get, the fewer resources there are and the tougher they are to find. So navigating all that, and we don't always have the answers at Cerebral Palsy Sunrise, but at least it's a great place for us all to get together, and somebody can say, oh, I've tried such and such, or
yeah
did you call so and so, or have you thought about trying this? And people can see what's worked for others, and also learn from some of our experiences, because some of us are older, right? And
yeah.
so we've tried some things, and we can say, well, this worked for me, or I tried this and it didn't work. So just a place to get feedback.
And it can also be a place of vent if you're going through like a hard time. There's people there you can lean on and stuff.
Exactly.
I
And
get it.
you can lean on them. And when you have something to celebrate that the able-bodied world might not understand, like a founding member of ours is getting a brand new power chair this
Yeah, I saw
week.
that.
Yeah, it's her first chair in a really long time. She happens to be the same age as me. She's getting ready to turn 40. So that's something that we've been celebrating. We had a contest to name her chair. We all get it. It's like it's exciting for us and we understand it, whereas the able-bodied world might not get why we're having a new chair
Yeah,
party, right?
yeah,
So yeah, it's something unique to us.
exactly. So you where can people follow you? Like Cerebral Palsy Sunrise on Facebook.
Cerebral Palsy Sunrise on Facebook. I do have YouTube. I don't have everything posted there yet, but I do have most of the interviews and the ABCs of Cerebral Palsy on YouTube. But the main place is Cerebral Palsy Sunrise on Facebook. And you can private message me there if you have questions or if you want to participate. You can follow the page. And we do all sorts of get-together activities all week.
Yeah,
We
all
work
we
out together.
yeah.
So if you're looking for something to do, just come on down.
Cool. And I will link everything in the description. And just to close out, if you want to be on an episode of Spastic Chatter, there's always an email address below, so you can send me an email. And thanks, Jamie, for agreeing to be on.
Thanks so much, Whitney. It was awesome, and can't wait to see you on Cerebral Palsy Sunrise.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.